The dinosaurs aren't actually extinct. They live so far beneath the Earth's surface that you can't detect them. They are working together with Bigfoot so he can relay messages back to them, which is why you occasionally get Bigfoot sightings. The dinosaurs are plotting an uprising. Just you watch. Whee! The dinosaurs have had an uprising before. In the Ice Age, the dinosaurs waged war with the mammoths. Casualties were devastating. Cavemen hunting mammoths to extinction? That was a cover-up by the aliens to make the cavemen look bad. It was due to the cavemen's efforts that the dinosaurs were driven underground, and they haven't been heard from since. Or so we thought. To paint a clearer picture, I'm going to share with you the origin story of the Dinosaur Uprising. It all began with a pterodactyl relaying a message to the Ice Age animals. The dinosaurs claimed that the world was theirs and theirs alone. The mammoths were warned to steel themselves, as the dinosaurs planned to take the world by force, starting with them. Mammoths made war preparations, and they also sought out allies. Little did the mammoths know, extinction was near. The war was fast approaching, and the mammoths sought out allies. The woolly rhinos were eager to join because they knew that they were next, thus making them the first allies. For their speed and agility, the saber-toothed tigers were recruited. The tigers were itching for a fight. The giant beavers wanted to offer aid. This aid was building bases at key locations. One such location was Fort Tusk. The mammoths tried to seek aid from the cavemen, but they wanted no part of it. What would it take to change their mind? That will be revealed later on. Months of getting settled in at Fort Tusk, mammoths and allies had a few skirmishes here and there with the dinosaurs. One day, a couple of rhinos noticed that the supplies were dwindling, so they brought it up to the mammoth general. The general assured them that it was because their supplies were running late. Nearby, a burly mammoth overheard the conversation. He thought to himself, that was odd. Supplies are usually on time. The general noticed him and thought, any word from your family? How are the kids doing? The mammoth replied, my family's doing great. My little girl Tina is as feisty as ever. And my wife says my son is almost as big as I am. That's great, said the general. That's when a tiger came rushing in. The dinosaurs are blocking the supply route, and they're coming in at force. And then they heard banging at the gates. The gate burst wide open, and in comes a pachyrhinoceros, followed by a horde of raptors, some triceratops, and the T-Rex general. As the animals began fighting, make sure no one makes it out alive, said the T-Rex. The mammoth general steps forward. I will be our opponent. Well met, said the T-Rex. And then they begin fighting. The burly mammoth knew that they weren't going to make it, so he turns his attention to a nearby tiger. Perry, you need to flee this place and tell our leaders what happened. Perry protests. Timothy, I can't leave you to fight these guys alone. Then Timothy responds, if you don't leave this place, they won't know what happened. The tiger relents, and so he escapes out the back way. Timothy makes his last stand. Timothy comes rushing in, throwing raptors left and right. One thought it could ambush him from behind, but with a powerful kick, the raptor goes flying. Unfortunately, the others aren't faring too well. While some mammoths are holding their own, others have begun falling. The woolly rhinos are getting overwhelmed with raptors, while the saber-toothed tigers have been getting trampled and impaled by the ceratopsians. The generals fighting is a sight to behold. Mammoth versus T-Rex. The mammoth manages to push the T-Rex away and begins charging. And with a smirk, "You thought you had me, didn't you?" said the T-Rex. He dodges the mammoth, slams his head into him, and then delivers the final blow. "No!" said Timothy. The burly mammoth comes rushing in. With the mammoth general down, Timothy charges at the T-Rex. He slams into the dinosaur, making him stumble backwards, almost falling. The T-Rex regains his composure and charges back at Timothy. Timothy dodges the dinosaur, and they are now fighting tusk and nail with each other. Finally, the T-Rex charges at Timothy, and he dodges. Suddenly, the world turns red. Timothy had been impaled by a triceratops. Life fading, all Timothy could think about was his family. His beautiful wife Tabitha, his little girl Tina, and his son Tommy. Hopefully, his family is still safe. Flash forward. Perry the saber-toothed tiger has made it to a village of mammoths. The village matriarch steps forward. "What happened?" she inquires. "Fort Tusk has fallen and is now being taken over by the dinosaurs." Perry then adds, "This village is next, I fear." The mammoths in the area gasped and started whispering amongst themselves. The matriarch makes an announcement. "Everyone, remain calm. We will begin evacuating this village. Make sure to spread the word. Nobody gets left behind." A young mammoth overhears the conversation and he rushes home to his family. "Mom, Tina, we need to leave as soon as possible." "Why? What's the rush, Tommy? Is everything okay?" asked the gentle mammoth. "We need to get out of here as soon as possible. The matriarch just announced it. A saber-toothed tiger had said the fort had fallen." Her eyes furrowed. "We better get going then. Tina!" A little mammoth comes running to them. "Yes, Mama?" Tommy tells his sister. "It looks like we'll be leaving. We're going to be gone for a while." "Okay," says Tina. "What about Papa? Will he find us when he comes home?" Their mother says, "Of course he will. You're his tiny Tina." The family has joined the herd. They will be in for a long journey. One young mammoth will be in for a longer one. On their journey, the mammoths stopped for a break at a watering hole. Little Tina had ran off to play with the other little mammoths. "Your little girl is as cute as ever, Tabantha," said a mammoth. "Well, thank you. Your child is adorable as well," replied Tabantha. While the mothers are chatting away, Tommy sees the tiger uphill, and he decides to go to talk to him. "You were stationed at Fort Tusk, right?" Perry says, "Yes, sir, I was. Who might you be?" The young mammoth responds, "I'm Tommy. Do you know my father? He was stationed at Fort Tusk." "I might," said Perry. "What was his name?" Tommy tells him Timothy. "Timothy? He's a great guy. He talked about you guys all the time." "He really talked about us?" asked Tommy. "Indeed he did. Your father is real proud of you," said Perry. Tommy then asked, "He didn't make it, did he?" "I'm afraid not. Your father fought until the very end," said Perry. Perry then adds his condolences. "I'm sorry about your father, kid. Tommy thanks Perry. Perry then added something that caught Tommy's attention. I did see something strange, though. Tommy asks, what was it? Perry, also unsure. I don't know, maybe a rock or something? After a moment, Perry starts to head back. Are you coming with? Tommy says, in a little bit, and then the tiger heads back. That's when Tommy heard a loud crash. What was it? Tommy looked in the direction where he heard the crash. The area the herd is in is flooding. Perry is fighting a group of raptors. Terry jumps in the fight to help him. After taking out the raptors, Tommy begins running towards the herd. He has to save his family. Stop! Yelled Perry. I have to save my family, said Tommy. If you go, you are going to drown. We need to get away from this place, now. Tommy looked in the direction of the flood, and back at Perry, and then he gave a reluctant, okay. The two take off to higher ground. Tommy happens to look in a direction, and he saw the dam. It was broken. Near the broken dam, he saw dinosaurs clearing the way. So it was those guys who was behind it. Perry points out above the dam. Hey kid, you see that too, right? Tommy looks up, and there it is. Among the pterosaurs, a weird flying object. Could this be the rock that Perry was talking about? As quickly as the mysterious object was spotted, it disappeared in a flash. So many questions. What is it? Why was it there? Is there more to this war than we thought? Maybe these questions will be answered later. For now, Tommy is going to focus on leaving the area with Perry. If we head northeast, we should find a river. If we follow it, we should find a settlement where the cavemen are residing, said Perry. The cavemen didn't want to help before. Will they now? Asked Tommy. I'm not sure, but right now they are our best bet. Perry and Tommy begin walking northeast. The search for the river has begun. As they were walking, some rustling in the bushes was heard. Is it a dinosaur? Perry and Tommy prepare for a fight, when suddenly, a bird-like figure jumps out. Out jumps a menacing dodo. Really? Said Tommy. Perry starts laughing. It's a sigh of relief. I heard you were looking for cavemen? Asked the dodo. Yeah, said Perry. Do you know where to find them? Asked Tommy. In fact, I do. Follow me. I even know some shortcuts. Should we follow him, Perry? Asked Tommy. Why not? What have we got to lose? We'll take our chances, said Perry. Off they go, following a dodo. What could possibly go wrong? Into the wilderness they go. By the way, my name's Carl. What are your names? Said the dodo. I'm Perry, and the kid over here is Tommy, said the saber-toothed tiger. As the trio were walking through the woods. Okay, the river should be right over... Squawk! Carl just slipped suddenly. Carl? Called out Tommy. Tommy and Perry went over to see what happened to Carl. Over here, said Carl. You okay, man? Asked Perry. Just peachy, said Carl. Tommy and Perry slide down to meet up with the dodo. We'll follow this river north, and that's where we'll find the cavemen, said Carl. This trip is going to be rough, thought Tommy. He didn't know how right he was. As they were traveling, squawk! Carl fell in a hole. After rescuing Carl, it was Perry's turn to fall in a hole. After dealing with that fiasco, they came across a bridge. The bridge looked semi-sturdy, if you can call it that. Perry and Carl crossed the bridge, and now it's Tommy's turn. How well do you think a mammoth can cross a bridge? As well as you can expect. Poor Tommy fell through. Luckily, the water was shallow, so Tommy can just walk through it. It's going to be a long journey for them. After a few rumble-tumbles, the trio stopped for a break. "You okay, kid?" asked Perry. "Yeah, I'm fine. Do you think we'll find the cavemen?" asked Tommy. "I mean, if we find them, it won't be in one piece," Perry replied. "Hey guys, it's getting late. Why don't we stop for the night?" suggested Carl. "Yeah, after what's happened today, we're going to need it," said Perry. "Hey, I'm going to step away for a moment. I'm going to need some privacy," said Tommy. Tommy steps away to mourn for his family. Poor kid has had it rough. Finding out the passing of his father and the way his family went in the flood. Everything that's happened is beginning to set in. Morning comes, the trio begins waking. Some rustling in the bushes was heard. "I don't like the sound of that," said Carl. "I don't either," said Perry. And out jumps a raptor. Tommy, out of nowhere, charges at the raptor and launches it. "If there's one, there's more. We need to get going, now," said Perry. "I know a way. Follow me," Carl tells them. Tommy and Perry follow Carl to the edge of a cliff with a waterfall draining at the bottom. "Are you crazy?" exclaimed Perry. "Yes," said Carl, and then he jumps. More rustling was heard, and more raptors started jumping out. "Well, I guess we don't have much of a choice now," said Tommy. Both Tommy and Perry take a leap of faith. At the bottom of the waterfall, the trio made it to shore. Thank goodness. But then footsteps were heard. Tommy looks at the figure walking towards them. As the figure came closer, it became clearer. It's a caveman! They finally found one! "Hey Carl, you know there's an easier way to find us, right?" said the caveman. "I like my way better," replied Carl. "You guys know each other?" asked Tommy. "Yeah, me and Andy go way back," answered Carl. Harry chimes in. "Can you take us to the village?" "I can," said Andy. "Would you mind explaining what happened on the way?" And that's exactly what they did while traveling. "I see. It's getting serious with the dinosaurs, and you guys are in need of help." Andy now caught up with the information. "Will you guys be able to help?" asked Tommy. "That's going to depend on what the village elder wants to do," Andy replied. "I can't say too much, but the reason the cavemen don't want to get involved is because there is a force at play here." "Does it have anything to do with those flying rocks?" asked Perry. Andy nodded. The group arrived at the village. "We have been awaiting your arrival," steps forward the village elder. "You're needing aid in driving at the dinosaurs, right?" asked the elder. "Yes," said Perry. "Is there anything you guys can do to help us?" he added. "If we help you, what will be in it for my people?" asked the elder. "If we drive out the dinosaurs, you and many others won't be wiped out. It will benefit you guys in the long run," said Tommy. The elder thought for a moment. "You're right. Let me tell you who to go after, but it won't be easy." To drive out the dinosaurs, you must defeat 3 of their generals, driving them underground, the village elder tells them. "Okay, defeat 3 generals to drive out the dinosaurs." "What 3 dinos do we need to look out for?" asked Perry. "A T-Rex, a Carnotaurus, and an Apatosaurus," said the elder. "We will begin preparations and call for help from other villages." Now that the trio have allies with the cavemen, they discuss plans on how to approach this. The cavemen will split into groups going after the Carnotaurus and the Apatosaurus, while the trio take Andy and then they go after the T-Rex, as Andy is one of their strongest warriors. The group are given a location to find the T-Rex. It is at Ghost Mountain. Now that they're ready, our heroes set out to find the general. It's going to be rough, but I'm sure the group can make it without any sacrifices. The group had made it to Ghost Mountain. They were kicking dino butt left and right. Tommy, with his brute strength, tossing dinos from side to side. Perry, with his speed and agility, dodging dinos left, right, up, down. Andy is totally decimating the dinosaurs here with his spear and club. And then you got Carl. He's just there for emotional support. He's doing his best, okay? Anyway, the group is now climbing the mountain, taking down the enemy as they come towards them. Anytime a pterodactyl comes flying towards them, Andy shoots it down with his bow. They made it to the top. There he is, the T-Rex general. "You guys think you can take me on?" said the general. "We can, and we will," Tommy retorted. Tommy and the T-Rex began squaring up. Some raptors started appearing. Perry and Dandy turned their attention to the raptors. "We'll take care of the raptors, and you focus on the general, Tommy," Andy told him. The T-Rex begins charging at Tommy. Tommy slams into him, making the dinosaur stumble back. T-Rex and Tommy are going back and forth. Tommy refuses to lose. Even though he is battered and bruised, Tommy will not give up. A Triceratops starts charging in. Andy stops him. Finally, the T-Rex rams into Tommy, making him fall. Just when he was about to deliver the final blow, that's when you hear, "All right, charge!" T-Rex looks up, and he sees a large group of cavemen rushing in. Reinforcements have arrived. When the T-Rex turns his attention back to the young mammoth, Carl comes in, flapping and squawking at the T-Rex. This distracts the T-Rex enough to where he walks backwards, and he's now standing at the ledge of a cliff. Tommy takes this opportunity to ram into the dinosaur, making him lose his balance, plummeting the mountain. The general had been defeated. The dinosaurs have been defeated. "This is the end," Andy shouts. "Leave now or face extinction." Having no choice, the dinosaurs retreated underground. Peace had returned to the Ice Age. Well, as peaceful as it gets, anyway. Tommy, unfortunately, is the last of his kind. Him and his friends have spent the last of their lives in the village with the cavemen. One day, Tommy was out collecting materials with the cavemen. He saw a flying rock. And as quickly as he saw it, the rock disappeared. Something else was there, too. A big, hairy caveman? That was odd. Ever since then, neither the rock or the caveman were ever seen again. And now you're wondering, why did this all happen? Well, that big, hairy caveman was Bigfoot. And those flying rocks were UFOs. It turns out Bigfoot had kidnapped the alien space princess and is holding her hostage. Thus, he is now making the aliens work for him by convincing the dinosaurs that the world is theirs. They were able to achieve this by using a time machine. The reason Bigfoot did this is, well, he's just evil and he simply felt like it. And that's why you don't fall for email scams. They totally fell for it. They're really real.